How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin is racing up right now, up above 47,000. I want to talk about why this is, why I thought this was going to happen, and why it's happening right now, along with some other news in the market. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see the next video that's just like this one, or the next one that you really like, the next one that gives alpha. Check out that link underneath the video, or that button underneath the video. There's also a link underneath the video to Margex where you can trade cryptocurrency. If you haven't done this already and you want to, now's the time. As you can see, we had this inverse head and shoulders, which I talked about several times on the channel, and then we had a big breakout. I had a long position open. I took some profits. I actually closed that position, but I have some other ones open right now. And yeah, they're highly in the profit. As you can see here, we just made a massive move up, and this is bound to happen more in the bull run. This is just the beginning, and I'll show you how quickly we moved from $42,000 to $58,000 last bull run. And it's actually quite impressive. It's quite explosive. If you don't know how leverage works too, I do have a couple videos talking about it on the channel. Keep in mind, it's a small part of what I do. Most of my crypto is spot, but if you move up 2% on 10x leverage, well, you can make a 20% return. There's also a link down there to HGAaccess where you can get information from myself along with other influencers. As you can see here, yesterday we posted this information about smog and talked about who it was coming from, what influencer, and as you can see, the price was around 18.17 million, and after that, it went on a massive run. It went up 159% in less than 24 hours, and it was already a decent size meme coin, like that is decent sized, 18 million, and it just went on a massive run. So if you want information like that, or if you want to see my exclusive videos every single day of the week, you can check out the link underneath the video. I think stuff like that or places like this are where you have to be for the next bull run, because one little play like that can pay so much money. Now, the market continues to race up. The traditional markets, as you can see here, the S&P 500 futures are above 5,000. We hit 5,000, I believe, for the first time yesterday. We still closed below it. That's obviously a big milestone, but we've had the Dow Jones hit new all-time highs. We've had the S&P 500. I'm not sure if we've quite gotten there on NASDAQ. We have on the NASDAQ 100, but traditional markets continue to race up, thinking that the Fed is going to cut this year. Crypto also is racing up. Just yesterday, we passed, I think, 44,000, and then 45, 46, and today 47,000 on Bitcoin. We went up to about 47,500, and now we're at 47,400. Explosive move. I mean, this is how the bull market starts. I saw another person talk about this yesterday, but it's not like we have a 30 or 40% day all the time. A lot of the time we see like a 2% move, and then a 4% move, then 6%, and then all of a sudden we're back like close to the all-time high, and then maybe we have an explosive move there, maybe we have some big news. But as you can see, Bitcoin's just making a big move today, 6% move. Now, this is getting close to where we got rejected last time. We went up to about 48,500, 49,000. We're very close to there now. I would be watching that like a hawk, because if we break that, we could easily break 50,000. Now, Bitcoin's doing well. Obviously, a lot of altcoins are doing well, but if you look at how every crypto is doing versus Bitcoin, it's actually quite telling. This is a 24-hour in Bitcoin, which basically just looks at how much Bitcoin's gone up versus these other cryptocurrencies. So Ethereum, yes, it's up 3.89% in the last 24 hours, but it's down about 1.86% versus Bitcoin. Tether down 5.46%, and it might be rounded off a little bit because Tether shouldn't have moved at all, and Bitcoin's up 6.3%, but it gives you the general idea, and you can scroll down. Barely anything is beating Bitcoin today. Of course, there are some smaller cryptocurrencies, even Caspa. I mean, Caspa's been on a huge run the last few days. By the way, you can trade Caspa on Margex. I actually did that just a few days ago and it started to move. But, you go down the list and there's very little that's outperforming Bitcoin today. And what's that mean? Well, Bitcoin dominance is moving up. And I like looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, but I also like looking at CoinMarketCap and really seeing, okay, every single cryptocurrency within the top 30 is bleeding to Bitcoin. That might be a little bit more telling than just looking at a green bar here. But you can see it is moving up. We do have a bit of a trend line there. Maybe if we get rejected there, we'll have a bit more of an altcoin season. We have seen some significant support right around this 50.8% mark. But I'm going to be paying attention to this. I would not be surprised if dominance broke through and broke back up to the upside, because we are seeing so much money come through the Bitcoin ETFs. And people are getting a little bit greedy. Like, this just happened, and we'll get back to Bitcoin in a second, but revving up for the much anticipated IDO of the Ape on the Ape terminal with 190,000 registrations. This is coming from BFI Labs. This is a BRC20 token. And I know Ape terminal had a lot of controversy recently, but people are still using it. 190,000 registrations breaks records. This is nuts. There are still people in the space that are going for alpha, going outside of Bitcoin, looking for new crypto launches, and a lot of them have done extremely well. So that is encouraging to see people continue to invest in that way, trying to get more alpha if you are someone that has altcoins. Now, last time we were around this price. Let's look at last bull market. When we finally broke out above this $42,000 mark, we went from, actually on this day, we went from 38,000 all the way up to 58,000 in exactly 14 days. So, I mean, this is a massive move, obviously. 38,000 all the way up to 46,000. That was one day's move. Massive. But then we continued to move up. And a lot of people think, oh, well, the market's boring, or at least that's what they thought a few days ago. And I said, like, keep with it. Keep on stacking. Keep on accumulating. Keep on paying attention to what's happening. Think bigger picture, because this is what can happen. We can see Bitcoin's price get away from people very quickly. Like I said, a $20,000 move in 2 weeks. You go on vacation, you come back, and Bitcoin's gone up $10,000. You don't want to be in that situation where you're waiting to deploy capital, and that happens to you. Of course, we can see the exact same thing on the downside, right? We can see $20,000 moves on the downside, but we are heading into a bull market, which, again, you just don't want to miss out on. Now, you also don't want FOMO, right? We went up to 58,000 and then went back down to 43,000, so we can have corrections pretty quickly, which is why I kind of stick to that DCA strategy. I just accumulate over time. I don't try to time anything, and that has done pretty well overall. You can see some of the price action is due to short liquidations. Over the last 24 hours, we've had $116 million worth of shorts liquidated and about $36 million worth of longs. That obviously contributes a decent amount to the price moving up. Typically, we see a 20x multiplier. So this might account for $2 to $3 billion in gains from Bitcoin, but we moved up much more than that. And the reason I think we're moving up is even more than short liquidations. It's accumulation. You can see here, Bitcoin ETF inflows have been bigger than Grayscale's outflows for 9 days in a row. And yesterday we had the second largest day, 405. I believe this is an estimate right now, $405 million worth of inflows, which is, if I'm doing my math right, about 8,000 Bitcoin were accumulated just yesterday. And you can see this is a re-acceleration. This is a huge amount of inflows. And you can see we went pretty much to zero inflows when you account for Grayscale selling. And now it's moving up significantly. A lot of people, a lot of entities, a lot of companies, a lot of financial advisors can't even buy the Bitcoin ETF yet because it hasn't been approved by their due diligence process. But that's bound to happen. So we have strong accumulation from the ETFs. We have short liquidations because of that. And we also have individuals that are buying. This chart looks crazy. This is someone's accumulation of Bitcoin over time. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. But if you even it out, it is a line up and to the right. This is the 16th largest wallet. They have about 43,855 Bitcoin. And since the beginning of the month, they've just been buying and buying and buying. They bought about 2,500 Bitcoin over the last 7 days, which is significant. Like I said, a lot of entities like this will continue to buy. They're buying 200 Bitcoin at a time, 100 Bitcoin at a time, multiple times a day. This This wallet alone bought what, 10 times, maybe even more than that, 15 times on one day. So people like this can cause the price to jump up, and that mixed with these ETFs is just so explosive. We can see big moves in Bitcoin when there's this much accumulation. I would not be surprised to see big moves in the future. We've seen quite a big move over the last couple days. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, if you want to be able to use leverage, you can check out the link to Margex underneath the video. There's no KYC, and everything can be charted right here, which is so powerful. It's so nice compared to some other exchanges where you have to go to TradingView, chart, and then come back, or use their crappy charting. This is powered by TradingView. There's also the link to HGAaccess underneath the video where you can get information, again, from myself and from others. We do everything from live streams to exclusive videos to alpha reports, and some of them can turn out really well, like Smog, obviously. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Do you think this is just kind of a fake out by Bitcoin, or do you think this is the start of another massive bull run? Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.